Hopefully he could be able to learn from it. I think he will learn. But classically, they gave the ball over to the Broncos within their own territory, and it made it easy for the Broncos to take advantage and score 2 field goals that really were the telltale sign of the game, and levied the balance in their favor. Remy, what are your thoughts?
15 points. Over turnovers and blocks, extra points.
15 points.
That's exactly my point.
Only 10 points.
Yeah,
okay.
So you ran off all of those stats for the offense. So while our offense was doing all of those punts and turnovers and whatnot, by the time we did score, how many points had the defense allowed?
Good point. So out of the first 5 possessions, the defense allowed only a touchdown and a field goal.
Okay. That's been our point for quite a while. People want to use our defense as a scapegoat every time we lose. But we can definitely say this game, definitely, we cannot put on our defense at all.
No.
If you're going to keep giving the ball away without scoring and they're on the field the whole time and they're playing against the defending champions, they're going to eventually score. So, the fact that they held them to 10 points after all of that early, after the amount of turnovers and whatnot early on, they kept us alive. They really kept us alive. They kept us in the game.
Man, the defense has been keeping us alive this whole season. Let's be honest about this.
Nobody wants to say it, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the offense has been putting up some pretty nice numbers, right? Number 1, leading in the league, passing, leading in the league. Great. But that defense has been bending, not breaking on multiple occasions. And this is the National Football League, so you do expect the opponents will score touchdowns and field goals on you. But this defense intercepted the young man twice, right? They also really stopped him on some critical downs. I mean, so the defense really did their job, especially when Denver got the ball at the Saints 47 and the Saints 20-yard line, and they only held them to field goals. So the defense did their job. So we have to applaud those guys for what they are doing.
They've only given 1 touchdown in the last 4 games in the second half of the games. I mean, what else can you say? And you've only given up this defense has played solid ever since that Atlanta game. The San Diego game drew 2 interceptions in that game. But they've been solid since that San Diego game. The Carolina game has some questionable pass interference calls, but this defense has played well enough, but the Saints should be 8-1. It's mental breakdowns every game that continue to plague them. Like the gentleman said on ESPN, or wherever I was watching NFL Network, the Saints are the best 4-5 team in the NFL along with San Diego. They simply do not know how to win. And it's the intangibles. It's something I've been harping on all this year. The intangibles. I'm sorry, but Greg McMahon, as special teams coach, he has to be fired. It is just, you've lost 3 games due to special teams. The Raiders game gave up 2 points. The Giants a blocked field goal. And now the Denver game with a blocked PAT. And you missed 2 field goals also. The 60-yard, I won't count that against the young kid. But you missed another field goal in that Raiders game. And at the end of the day, the difference in point margin, I told you guys, watch how many games the Saints are going to lose by 7 points, 8 points or less. This is now about their 30, I did the tally, it's over 30-plus games in the last 7 years that the Saints have lost by 7 or less.
Wow. Too close, but never getting over the hump.
Type of games. They used to win them, not anymore.
Yeah. What you think, Rim?
I mean, it's going to sound like a broken record in here. Any young people listening, a record is something that we used to listen to our music on, and when we said it was broken, it would sometimes skip and say the same thing over and over. Okay, so yeah, we're going to sound like a broken record in here, because basically we're just all agreeing on the same thing. It's a lot of one more of this. If there's so many games, if we had done one more something, one more anything, we would have won. One more, 3 and out, against them. One more tackle. One more first down. One more. It's just frustrating that it's one more something that keeps you from winning all these games. And even on this, it was just one more PAT, even though there were a lot of other things, or one less turnover. One less turnover, one less fumble, one less pick six. Things like that. It's these little things that if we just did one thing more or one thing less, we would be winning so many more games. And that's the hurting part.
Yeah.
This is not like the Saints we grew up with. The Saints we grew up with were pitiful. I mean, you knew going into the game somebody was going to leave up. You was going to go home with somebody's foot so far up your butt your breath smelled like shoe polish. But this.
So far up your butt, coming out your mouth, you're like, oh, you want me to buff that too?
You got the tongue of the shoe and your own tongue coming out your mouth.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for that with this team. If you just do one or two more things or don't do one or two things, you can win a whole lot of games. And we could just, like you said, very easily be 8-1 right now.
Yeah.
Other than the Atlanta game, every game was very, very winnable. And that is, to me, the most frustrating thing about this team. It's hard to watch a team that can be doing so much better, but they're just not. And for whatever reason.
True.
They're just not. And that's hurtful. That's hurtful to watch.
And you know what's also hurtful to watch? Our special teams in the kickoff return side too, man. I know, Professor, you talk about McMahon needs to go. I'm just scratching my head trying to understand why Sean Payton is not allowing Marcus Murphy any opportunities to get onto the field. And Jeff Duncan did a great interview with Marcus Murphy this, I think yesterday? Yeah, in yesterday's Times-Picayune on NOLA.com as well. And Marcus Murphy he's just biding his time, just waiting for the opportunity to I guess, win back the confidence of Sean Payton. And Sean Payton's like, he's a fine young man. We just have to be, he's going to have to figure out a way we can get him back into the 46 that play on the field. I'm looking at Hightower bumbling. Hightower is a running back. He's not a kickoff returner. Travaris Cadet is not a kickoff returner. Jairus Byrd, heck, he ain't no kickoff returner, And you don't want to put your guy Brandon Cooks back there. You've got to have somebody who's consistently back there fielding these punts and as well as the kickoffs. And we don't have that. We don't have a consistent presence back there. Coach would always say this to us. Coach Rick Gailey would always say, special teams must be what? Special. Special teams must be special. And I know Hightower had that 131-yard return. After that, nothing. I mean, he had 4 touchbacks, and the other return, we really needed him to at least down the ball and get us to the 25. He got us to the 12. So that has to be something they have to look at. If you don't like Marcus Murphy, you don't like Tommy Lee Lewis, who do you like? Who do we have that you really going to trust out there? So
I don't think they know Kyle and Rim. I really don't, because this is, to me, just the worst special teams unit in the entire NFL. I just think they're horrible. They're horrible.
Well, other than Thomas Morstead and, Lutz has been, he's a rookie. He's done as well as expected and a little bit better, but this kickoff return and punt return, we've got to get something going, man. We've got to be able to have somebody back there as a spark plug to help out, because Bird is not going to do it. All he's going to do is just field the ball, you know? So hopefully they can be able to turn it around. And I think a game like we're going to face on tomorrow night is the grand opportunity to have somebody to help turn the balance or turn the momentum into our favor by at least having a punt return for 20, 30 yards, right? You know, give us some extra yardage to put us closer to higher our probability of getting into the end zone or kicking the field goal or something. But, you know, Coach brought to us years ago, he said, you know, if a team starts on the 20, they have less of an opportunity of going into the end zone. But if they start on the 26, they have what? I think he said the chances are almost like 60% greater that the teams could be able to score a touchdown. That's something you need to play into your game plan. Part of who is going to be on your special teams. And I'm going to say this also. I looked at that block extra kick, guys. Man, I don't know what these refs are looking at, but something has to be done with this, man. The two tackles were holding Dresser down,
right,
and pulled his helmet. That's another thing they overlooked, pulled his helmet to keep him down, and this guy just jumped over him. And you're just going to sit there and stand there and think, oh, yeah, that's normal for this guy to just jump over the center. Really? Without leveraging. You know, I don't get it, man.
Kyle, I told you about that gentleman. You and Remy have to go Google it. About a month ago, I was here in the office working, and I turned on ESPN. And this gentleman was on, I forget, the lady that was, young lady that was interviewing him. And he talked about why he got fired. I can't remember if it was the NFL or college. That he got fired, and she asked him a question. Do the officials, you know, can they fix games, or do they have the ability to change the outcome of games? He openly gave his story. Yes, that's why I got fired. Because we have the ability to make sure the games are in alignment with Las Vegas. After that, I'm not saying all officials. After that, I said, I'm done, because here's the official, right? And I've been telling you this offline for a long time, that these officials have a lot of control of these games. I mean, you miss the kid going out of bounds on the return. And that's what people don't realize. These officials can control the game, and they're the third variable in the game. You have the two teams, then you have the officials. And the officials can change the outcome of a game.
Well, they did, man, and that brings up another point. All of the great technology in this world today, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar corporation called the National Football League, and we cannot develop cameras or a presence on the sidelines to have your own cameras on the sidelines to be able to check the ins and outs on plays because the owners say it's going to cost too much money. Really?
Okay, how about this, even, man? You know, because I also watch tennis, and these days,
exactly,
there's a beeper that goes off when a serve is out, isn't in the box, or
exactly,
or if a ball goes out of bounds. Even
the technology is there, right?
You know, yeah, there's something that can be done as soon as that guy steps out of bounds, which the whole world saw him do. Even the people in Denver saw him do it. I'm pretty sure people in Denver were saying, "Oh Lord, we're not going to get these 2 points." So, but they didn't count on the zebra screwing it up. But anyway, you know, as soon as he steps out of bounds, beep, you know, something to alert the referees that he's out of bounds.
Yeah, you're right, Rem. Because if you ever watched like the U.S. Open, the U.S. Open has the best technology. You know, but more so the U.S. Open, because they can go through the video replay to show